I think I may actually pass out trying to read these slides. My name is Blair Hamilton. I'm a developer working with Winnipeg, who is in no way responsible for anything I'm going to say in the next 5 minutes. I've been told to make that very clear. It's a full-service CD organization of which co-op development is one piece. This is me, this is my team, and for anyone who follows CFL football, you will understand my affinity for the underdog and the need to take the long haul. And the long perspective is really, something you need in co-op development, so I believe these are transferable skills. I've been doing this since about 1989, not always at Seed. During that time, there's been a lot of shift and a lot of change. In this case, it's in pop culture, but also in culture of workplace and technology and the political culture, and so a lot of difference. We do work in employment support, asset building, and particularly enterprise development, which is where most of the co-op development activity happens, but it does bleed into the other areas and overlap to a certain extent. In doing the enterprise development work, we have a number of different models that we'll look at, and we love worker co-ops. They're great. We promote them, but we're always looking for what the best fit is. How is this going to work? Sometimes projects will start in one and they'll transition over time to another, but this is really an important piece of helping the client or the participant or whichever word you like to use come to a plan that's going to make sense for them. We're continuously learning. I don't know if that ratio is exactly right, but it's probably not that far off either. And so we've had 4 lessons and perhaps a moral that we can share with you, or maybe I should share with you because they're my failures mostly. Lesson 1 is the form has to follow the function, and this has to do with that fit among those other models. A lot of times people come to us and they have a vision, an ideal, they've heard about something, and it's not the right thing for what they actually want to do. And so it's really unpacking that and thinking about it. In Manitoba in particular, there's a huge enthusiasm right now for the multi-stakeholder co-op, which we've just had the legislation the last couple of years. We really like that idea, but it's not a silver bullet, and so we're having to deal with that. Finances are foundational. Again, the co-op model and the worker co-op model attract idealists, and sometimes the attention to the science of business is equated with being some sort of rapacious robber baron, and we need to unpack that. There is no co-op, there is no business if you don't pay attention to the science of the business, and so kind of disengaging that from some of the unnecessary associations is important. Equity counts and leveraging has limits. We deal particularly with low-income demographic, and so we're always putting together grants and guarantees and sweat equity and debt to try and make a project, and there's a point at which it just gets a little unwieldy and can actually kill a perfectly good idea. And we learned that one the hard way, and where's Peter Huff? Hi, Peter. So sorry about that. Building governance for the worst case. It's always easy to get along, and the governance works, and it can be informal. But when it comes up to the stress test, your governance really has to work, and that's just so important. I know Louise is going to talk in her presentation about the growth of Nietzsche, and having the governance to look at how you do 60 or 70 differently than 12 is kind of what we're getting at here. What's the moral of the story? All of our projects hit limitations. They're inevitable. We don't necessarily need to be bound by them, but we're going to encounter them. Some of us more explicitly than others. But the trick is to understand those limitations, explore them, analyze them, and then you can move beyond them. But if you don't acknowledge them, you're in for a world of hurt, is our opinion. And so in the exercise where we're trying to marry our values to our businesses, which is really what the model is all about, it's a constant struggle. Those things are in tension often. And so it is necessary to be in balance, and we ignore the balance at our peril. That's should have had a few more words. Don't lean too far one way or the other. Thank you.